Have you ever wondered why do we humans submit to doing stuff we know are horrible and inhumane to do? Like, why did German soldiers kill the Jews in World War II? Is it that all the Germans are bad, or is it something else? Well, these are answers that Stanley Milligram, a psychology professor at Yale University, was looking for. He tested 40 male participants of ages between 20 and 50. And first, he introduced the participants to another participant who was actually a confederate of the experiment. They drew straws to determine the roles, learner or teacher, although it was fixed that the confederate was always the learner. There was also an experimenter dressed in a gray lab coat, who was played by an actor. 2 rooms in the Yale laboratory were used, one for the learner with an electric chair, and another for the teacher and experimenter with an electric shock generator. The learner was strapped to a chair with electrodes. After he was learned a list of word pairs given him to learn, the teacher tested him by naming a word and asking the learner to recall its pair from a list of 4 possible choices. The teacher was told to administer an electric shock every time the learner makes a mistake, increasing the level of shock each time. There were 30 switches on the shock, marked from 15 volts, slightly shock, to 450 volts, which was danger, severe shock. The learner gave mainly wrong answers on purpose, and for each of these, the teacher gave him an electric shock. When the teacher refused to administer the shock, the experimenter was to give a series of orders to make sure that they continued. The experimenter read out the orders. Please continue. The experiment requires you to continue. It is absolutely essential that you continue. You have no other choice but to continue. At the end of the experiment, the results were devastating. 65%, or 2/3 of participants, which were the teachers, continued to the highest level of 450 volts. All the participants continued to 300 volts. If the experiment was real, more than 65% of the participants would have actually killed the learner. Milligram concluded that ordinary people are likely to follow orders given by an authority figure, even to the extent of killing an innocent human being. Obedience to authority is a part of our human nature learned from childhood. People tend to obey orders from other people if they recognize their authority as morally right or legally based. This response to legitimate authority is learned in a variety of situations, for example, in the family, school, and workplace. Well, this is it for today, guys. I hope this video answered your questions as to why unfortunately people obey and conform to doing inhumane things.